Mediocre Gamecast. It's episode 9. It's Wednesday, May 14th. I'm your host, Nick Houston, also known as Tughost132. Joining me, Jacob Olsen, also known as Not Busy Enough.
What it do, what the business is.
And Brad Konerman, also known as Zysmo.
Young, black, and famous, with money hanging out the anus.
Did you fuck that up, or was that lag?
It must have been lag. I don't know.
Money hanging out the anus.
It sounded fun to me. Josh Dabney ain't here today, because he's a little bitch. That's why we didn't have a league cast last week, because I was like, hey, let's do a league cast. And Conor's like, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, Dabney. And he wasn't even here. I was just talking to myself. So fuck it.
See?
So
He just disappeared off the face of the sand plains that he lives on.
just sand dune just covered his house. All right. So today it's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. We're going to talk about Archeage later, because we've all been pretty much playing that. So aside from Archeage, let's just go over what else we've done this week. Olsen, what have you done?
I just watched the newest episode of Game of Thrones and got really pumped up for the rest of the series. Been playing before Archeage, before y'all talked me into getting Archeage, I was playing that Roller Coaster Tycoon, hardcore game stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and debating what other games I was going to buy. I was going to try do the WildStar beta, but I just don't want to.
Well,
I
it was
don't know what
awful.
it is. I didn't think it was awful. I think it was just this.
It was lackluster, I think is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, I built it up way too much in my head.
I think we all did.
Yeah.
It was pretty disappointing when I tried it.
We're looking for a new MMO, but we may have found it. We'll get to that in a little bit.
I think we did. I actually got past level fucking 15, so I think I found what that I'm going to stick with.
But yeah. Is that all you got for this week?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Coleman, what have you done? What have you accomplished?
Played some League. Still sitting in the same rank. Shocker. But before I played Archeage, I spent the entire day watching videos on it while I downloaded it because I was so excited. Also, I've been watching Supernatural. I'm on like season 4 now. So it's been pretty much an Archeage filled week though.
Okay. Well, for me, I pretty much played some League, talk about that on League Cast. Played Archeage, talk about that after a while. That's really about it as far as games went. I don't think I played
Archeage
anything.
has been like seriously, like we've been spending a lot of hours playing that game.
I will say that I used my free credits on Audible to get Darth Plagueis, or the Book of Plagueis, or whatever it's called, Star Wars book. So I'm listening to that right now. I don't care what Lucas fucking film said. It's canon. Shut up. So,
Hey,
jump us into the news.
No. Like,
easy.
along with that LucasArts stuff, did you guys hear about the actor who played Wedge Antilles in the old, the original trilogy?
What'd he say?
Because, like, a lot of the after trilogy canon is about Wedge and how he helped, bring the families back together and train some people, and I think he helped win another, like, small rebellion. I can't remember exactly. But, like, they asked the actor, like, hey, would you be willing to come back? And he's like, not really, since they really killed off all my story. It'd be pretty boring. And he's just like, no.
That's Zachary Quinto, right?
What?
Guy plays Spock, right?
No. No. Captain Eyebrows? No, not him.
That's everything wrong ever.
Just fucking unvalidated everything I said. Took
all right.
Completely out of it.
All right, so that's it. 4:20, perfect time to jump into the news. Blaze it, faggot. In the news, Xbox Live Gold is no longer required to watch Netflix or Hulu or HBO Go or any of that shit, and you can use Skype and stuff like that now without the subscription to Xbox Live Gold. Good.
I honestly didn't know that you had to have this to do that on Xbox.
I didn't either, because I don't fucking have one. So I didn't even know you had to have that. But so good thing they got rid of it, because I'm pretty sure PlayStation 4 is kicking their ass right now.
Yeah, like 2-1, basically.
Yeah. And if they're gonna push their system as like, this is the entertainment system, this is the one source for fucking all your stuff you need in the living room and shit, they're like, but to use it, you gotta subscribe to our bullshit first, even if you don't play games. So, yeah, I don't know why the fuck they would have that.
It was stupid that they were making people try and subscribe to, their Xbox Live Gold or whatever, and then also expect people to subscribe to Hulu, Netflix, or whatever. Like, I still subscribe to Netflix, but I just got rid of my Hulu because Hulu's becoming worthless, and there's no way in hell I was going to pay, I'm going to pay more money on top of those subscriptions for really no benefit.
Yeah.
It's...
Especially when every other system fucking does it for free.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to subscribe to some bullshit to use it.
Like, I can still jump on my PS3 and stream in HD and do fine.
I remember, I think it was last E3 when they were basically revealed the two consoles and like all of the specifications and stuff, and like PS4 just blew Xbox One away, and Xbox One just like came in there, just like, yeah, we got all this cool stuff, like you can fucking make coffee with your Xbox, and like it levitates and shit, and then
they're like, you can watch TV. You can watch TV.
And like, PlayStation just like, yeah, you can play these fucking awesome games, and Xbox is like, but you can fucking what about a fucking BLT? We can make you one of those with the Xbox. And then it's just like...
You can watch Price is Right.
Literally, as soon as that was over, like those two demos were over, like Xbox was just backpedaling, trying to catch up to how farther ahead PS4 was.
Yeah, pretty much since release, and even before fucking release, all Xbox has been trying to do basically is damage control. Because... there's still people out there that think that, oh, I heard you fucking, couldn't just, play games on it and shit because of all this stuff. Is that true? And, or fucking, I heard you can't just, go out and buy used games and stuff. It's hard to explain to people all the shit that's gone on. They never should have fucking had that stupid policy to begin with. And now it's hurting them pretty bad. So remember that in the future.
I think they could have got away with the always online thing in the Kinect if they would have stuck to their guns. You'd get people on either side of the spectrum. Like right now, it's even the Xbox fans are like, yeah, Sony kind of might be winning this out right now. They have, it's a better service. But you'd have at the beginning, at the initial sales, a war between the Sony and Xbox again, with Sony's fucking liberal or libertarian views towards gaming, and then you have Xbox's conservative views towards gaming, and they would clash. You'd get two sides of the gaming community. One side, PlayStation's good because it's unrestricted or whatever, and then the Microsoft side saying, well, we can have all these services and we can do all these different things, make your BLTs, like Connorman said.
Watch Price is Right.
Watch
They
Price
better
is
be
Right.
fucking hot too.
Right. But now that I think it's a mistake that they started to do all this backpedaling. It's on one side it's admitting your mistake, on the other side it's giving up on your original vision, which honestly, if it was tweaked a little bit, would have been a good vision, I think.
Well,
I think the only thing that's keeping Xbox up right now is their platform-specific titles, like Halo or
Titanfall.
What else? Gears of War, shit like that.
Yeah, but it wasn't even, like you were saying, the vision. It was just the way they fucking handled everything about it. Yeah. It's just it's okay, so you don't want us to fucking, you've got all these things with used games, what's the benefit? And they'd be like, fuck, I don't know. And so you're like, so why do you have it? We can watch Price is Right. And that's or they'd be like, oh, you have to always be online. You're like, okay, why? And they'd be like, fuck, shit. Could never explain any reason that they were doing anything. And then, I remember it was one of their, marketing representatives or something like that. I can't remember who it was, who, released a tweet being like, we're always online, and if you don't like it because you're fucking poor and you don't have internet, you can just play 360. It's like, that's probably not the best thing to do. So,
That guy was canned right away.
yeah, so they just like shot themselves in the foot, and then they just kind of let themselves bleed out, and they never fucking fixed it. They never, even though they like changed their policies and went back and they corrected everything, and people who follow the news know they correct it. The people, just like the people who just play fucking Madden and stuff, or Call of Duty, which was probably their main audience, and doesn't follow like close gaming news, doesn't know that anything about that shit.
Yeah, that's I totally agree. Because like if they would have stuck to their guns and you know what, we're gonna stick with the online thing, you'll see kind of thing like that, people would have forgot about it. That would have been, I mean, it was the launch of both consoles within a 2 weeks of each other. So like, or not the launch, but the unveiling of both consoles, and so that was fresh in everyone's minds. But a month or 2 months after those reveals, everybody would have forgot about the fact that Xbox is always online, and they wouldn't have had to do all this damage control, and they could have focused their efforts on, you know, making sure their launch is as smooth as possible, making sure their games are ready, and all that kind of stuff. It's weird that it made everybody lose confidence in them, I think, because oh yeah, you're right, we'll change it. Yeah, you're right, we'll change it. And it, instead of making it look like, yeah, well, we're listening to the gamers, they don't know what they're doing, you know?
I don't know. I see Xbox as like that. You guys are probably going to give me shit for this, but that dependable, like that system that whenever you go over to somebody's house, that's going to be there almost. Like, it's almost guaranteed that you can always like pick up a controller and just play like a good old game of COD or some shit like that. But
it's like COD. Just say Call of Duty.
I see that with...
It's COD. I mean, it's the same thing.
I see that with like the Xbox 360, but not really the new one. Not the Xbox One. Not at all.
Yeah, I think... Well, and that's the thing I was getting to is I think the PlayStation, not necessarily is more of an advanced system, but it's a more specialized system. I see Xbox... Gonna get shit for this. Xbox players is more casual than like PlayStation players, which are more casual than like PC gamers. I don't know. That's kind of how I see it.
I think it kind of is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to get shit for it, but I think if you do, it's because Xbox players are usually more vocal, too, in their opinions.
Or younger.
Call of Duty Ghost is the greatest game ever made!
Suck butt, gays! But
bro, I love monsters so much. Doritos. It's just they're fucking sitting there playing Call of Duty and Madden, eating Doritos and drinking a Monster, and they've got their fucking hat on backwards.
420,
yeah,
no
bro.
blaze it.
Yeah,
bro.
The bros. That's what I imagine when I think fucking an Xbox player.
That is a huge stereotype. But...
Well, whatever.
Speaking of Microsoft.
Microsoft, they're now offering, or they're planning to offer consoles without the Kinect. Thank God, because that thing is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know.
Have you used it before?
No.
A good example would be
shit.
Everything I've heard indicates that it's a piece of shit.
I've tried the voice commands on it, and I don't know if my voice is too goddamn high, but it didn't respond to a single voice command of mine at all, and it was so damn frustrating. And you see it on like if you ever watch Inside Gaming, a running joke that they have is they'll be like Xbox on, and they'll like the camera will cut to it, and it doesn't do anything. I think it's turned on once for them, and they've done that joke like 25 times.
Well, I think what you're getting at is the no bitch feature on the Kinect, to where if you switch it on, it doesn't react or interact with bitches. So
bitches. Okay,
yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
It's in the back. It's a red button.
Every person who has an Xbox that like I've heard talking about the Kinect say it's basically hit or miss. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And instead of just dealing with the headache of fucking having to yell like as loud as you can across the room trying to get it to do what you want.
People are just sleeping.
You might as well just go get the controller and do it manually.
No, the only I guess interaction that I've had with the Kinect was I watched some kid and his grandma like playing it at the store. Like it was probably like a year and a half ago. But like they were doing some kind of like game where you had to move and like fucking move your body so that it would match the screen. And this grandma just beat this kid's ass, and he got mad and just like stomped off. That's like the only like I watched it for like 5 minutes, just watched him play. I felt kind of creepy because I was just sitting there watching him play, like not like just standing there, but from like behind a shelf. Like I just like, was like looking over, just like, what are they doing?
It's like I don't want
anybody to see me do this. And like somebody like walk by me, I like look down real fast at a game or something and like pretend I was reading it. No, but yeah, it was pretty funny. He just like stomped off, pissed off. She's like, "Come back, Jimmy." Fuck you, Grandma.
Fuck off, Grandma. Go get your cane or something. Why's the kid have that accent? Like,
I'm Batman.
It was a quick run up to New York. Anyways.
No, I think part of Kinect's problem is that it's another. They tried to make it a big part of the Xbox, but people just, I mean, most people who buy a game console want to play, you know, those normal games. It should have been a peripheral from the beginning. I don't have a problem with Kinect in general. If it's, you know, if it's for those people who want that, you know, gimmicky kind of party game like Dance Central, that it does all the motion tracking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There you have PlayStation Move, which is a peripheral. You have the Wii, which basically everything about it is a peripheral, but it works with those party situations. But outside of that, it's what else are you going to use it for? I mean, yeah. I get, you know, moving your hand to turn the volume is cool, but that stuff never works 100% of the time. And if it doesn't work 99 to 100% of the time, it becomes a nuisance. Even if it's 95% of the time, that 1 in 20 is going to frustrate you when it happens.
Yeah, the way I look at it is, why are you trying to fix something that's not broken? Like, controllers have worked just fine so far. You can do everything you want in the game.
I know exactly why, but go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, you know, does the Kinect somehow make the game better? And usually not. Usually it's just like, if, like you were saying, it's a gimmick where it's like, oh, you're fucking trying to kill this thing. Why don't you yell about it or move your head fucking around in circles or some shit? Like, why? Just fucking let me hit A or something and so be done with it.
Let's look at like the Wii and how they, I'm going to say they revolutionized gaming with like their new fucking controller. Listen.
Don't say revolution. They say Wii revolutionized
Let me finish my point. All right, look. You can't tell me that we didn't have fun for like a fucking week with the Wii when we were playing like that tennis shit or that boxing shit.
No, we did.
Yeah, okay.
Now wait a minute. So that's a completely different way to play a game, right? You're not using a controller. You are, but it's a different way. You're using more of your body, I guess you could say. This is the same thing. This is like, oh, you're going to use your entire body as a controller instead of just a few buttons on a piece of plastic. Let's look at fucking, this is a little bit of a stretch, but like Oculus Rift or any of the virtual reality kind of things where your head, you actually move your head. You're using your fucking head as a controller. I think the whole point of this was to try and give a new experience of playing a game.
But here's the thing, it came bundled with the system, but they've treated it in their development as a peripheral. Wii is different. Everything, because that's how the Wii is, everything about the Wii, their games, the way the games are developed and the way they're played involves that motion control and involves that kind of that activity.
So are you mad at the fact that
like Call of Duty
are you mad at the fact that are you mad that this exists, or are you mad that they're forcing people to buy it with like to bundle it and force it with their
I'm not mad that it exists at all. There is definitely a place for Kinect, but not with this for the kid who, you know, mom, dad, I want for my birthday an Xbox and Titanfall, you know. That kid is not going to use that extra $100 on their system for his stupid Kinect when he plays Titanfall. And that's why I think they're alienating a huge group of people with that extra $100. People don't have $500 to just dump on shit all the time. And to force them an extra $100 to buy
they can get a 360.
Peripheral. Yeah, exactly. But to force them to pay that extra $100 to get something that they're really not going to use, is asinine.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I thought you were mad at the fact that
No,
they were forcing people to use Kinect, but you're mad at the fact that they're forcing people to buy it. And I agree with that.
Yeah,
oh
like
man,
if,
I don't
if
like that
someone
they
was
force
like,
people to use it either.
yeah, if there was a game that it was developed specifically for Kinect, and someone was like, I want that game, I'm gonna get that game, and I'm gonna get the Kinect to play it with. You know, I don't have a problem with that. But when they're fucking behind in sales, they can't sell shit, and they just bundle this thing in and make you spend an extra $100 for no reason.
There's
When
like,
it
we got to
doesn't-
get rid of these, Tim.
There's nothing that the Kinect accomplishes with any of their games except some gimmicky bullshit that Microsoft is like, hey, can you just fucking add something that the Kinect can do in your game just so it seems like it's useful some way? And the game developer's like, yeah, fucking, you can, how about a voice command or something? Sure, whatever. Like, the Kinect doesn't do anything. Like, if I was just playing Titanfall, what the fuck do I need the Kinect for? Nothing. I can just hit a button. And like you were saying with the Wii and their controllers, you know, that is a bit different because their entire system is those Wiimotes and stuff like that.
Sure.
But, you know, let's live in fucking Fantasyland for a second and say that
Every day.
a Wii and a PlayStation 4 are the exact same, like, technical-wise, fucking UI-wise, and you're playing the exact same game on it, and everything looks the same. Say you're playing fucking, I don't know, Call of Duty. Let's just say it's Call of Duty. You know, would you rather use the Wiimote, or would you rather just use a PlayStation 4 controller? I would pick the PlayStation 4 controller all day, because the Wiimote, I think, is fucking stupid. And I hate the way it feels. I hate the way the buttons are laid out. I hate everything about it.
Right,
So,
but that's a whole different.
Yeah, so if I was playing tennis, and they say, do you want to use a PlayStation 4 controller, or do you want to play with a Wiimote? I'd probably pick the Wiimote, just because I don't have to worry about the buttons. It just has to track my hand motion for the fucking tennis. So, if the game is designed around it, it's fine. If it's
Then they should bundle it with the game, you're saying?
well, not even
If they
bundle
bundle
it with
it
the
at
game.
all.
Well, if they have to bundle it with something, I guess bundle it with the game. But if they're like more games are coming out, you know, you don't need to bundle it with it. But
You have to buy a Kinect every time you buy a new game. You
No,
just have like 7 sitting in your garage.
But it just depends on what the game is, I guess. Like if the Wii stuff, I wouldn't get a Wii because those aren't my kind of games. I think all the games that are designed for the Wii are kind of gimmicky. I don't think they're fun. You know, Wii Sports was fun because tennis is fun, golf is fun. I can do those. But
I thought you were going to say another G word. I was going to laugh.
What G word?
Goon Squad.
What? Why would I say that?
It's
But
a
anyway,
joke.
I'm just going to rant.
Somebody will get it if somebody finally listens to this fucking podcast.
now. They probably won't. They probably shut it off. They're like, oh god. they're
If
talking
you got
about
the joke,
controllers
send
again.
us an email and I'll give you $10 RP on fucking League. No shit. We need listeners.
heard 'em.
Fuck.
You heard them. But yeah, so there's just nothing for the Kinect. There's no reason to have it, and they're trying to push it out because they want stuff to be there for it. But you can't just force people to develop for a peripheral when they don't want to. By bundling in your system, they're like, hey, the Kinect is there, you know, it's there, you guys should develop for it. They're like, okay, I guess we can fucking add a feature, but we're not going to center our whole game around some piece of shit that sometimes works. You know, because then our game's not going to sell.
I think part of the problem they had too is right from the beginning, the Kinect has been, you know, almost an integral part of the system. Their operating system is partially designed around the Kinect. Their hardware is designed around the Kinect, and that's hard to change down the line. So that's why I think that's why they've been, you know, waiting for so long. Look at the outrage that people had when they had to, you know, update their Xbox One controllers 2 weeks in a row. And they don't want another firmware update that everybody's going to have to download to get their Xbox to work without it. So they've been putting it off probably for that reason, but it's good that they're finally doing this.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've talked quite a bit about the Kinect. Speaking of the Wii, let's move on to our next news segment.
Okay. Next piece of news. There's going to be a Wii update, or Wii U update, and it's going to reduce the boot up time by 20 seconds. So you can be disappointed even faster.
I knew you were gonna say something.
Yeah,
like
I heard
that
a joke. I heard a joke in his voice.
I had
You
that
smart
joke.
ass.
I had that joke in my head as soon as I read this story. I was like, oh, good, so I can fucking hate myself even more. 20 seconds quicker.
So wait, the Wii U is their mobile. It's like their Game Boy, right?
Are
No,
you serious?
no,
I don't
man.
know, man.
Why are you on this podcast?
You guys
The Wii
talk so
U-
much shit about Nintendo that I never want to touch it. And like when I ask a question like this, I don't know. It's a legitimate question.
Nintendo 3DS or 2DS is the
It's the
handheld
3DS.
version. Well, there's 2DS too, but the Wii U is their version, their current console.
Hold on. Let's just go over it real quick. The Wii U is a current home console. The handheld, they have a 3DS, which is their
Wait a
main
minute.
one, and they have a 2DS, which is designed for little kids because they were worried about the 3D feature hurting their eye development. So it's designed for like fucking kids under 10. It doesn't fold up or anything.
I thought, why the fuck does the Wii U have like a Game Boy looking screen?
Who knows, man?
Do you play it on a TV? Right?
Yeah, it's a motion-enabled controller, and you play it on a TV, but you have a smaller screen there. So they envisioned it like
Hold on.
if you needed to pull something from your inventory, you click it on that small screen, or your mini map would be on that small screen, and you have it.
So is
you
this
know,
like
your
is this
full
the
screen.
first is this the first time you're seeing the Wii U controller and stuff?
Yep.
Do you see why I fucking hate it?
I can kind of envision why.
Imagine
It
trying
looks
to
like
play,
a badass mobile platform, but like it
Imagine
looks
trying
beefy.
to play. Imagine trying to play any kind of game where you had to just hold that fucking thing in your hands the whole time like a normal controller.
I just thought about having to look down at it all the time.
Well, you do because you're like, all right, I need fucking my inventory to hit up, and you hit inventory, and you're like, oh shit,
And then
where's
you look
it?
up
And then you
died.
Yeah, no, you're fucking keep looking at the screen. You're like, where the fuck is my inventory? And you have to look down, and he's like, oh, it's on this fucking stupid screen for some reason.
Stupid screen.
The problem with the Wii U is it's basically a last generation system. The graphics are very comparable to PS3 and Xbox 360, sort of.
They just got
So
HD.
this came. When did this come out? Did it come out with PS3?
2 years ago.
Okay, so it came out with that gen of systems. Okay.
Whoa,
So
no,
I bet you guys
No.
cannot wait until the
No.
new Nintendo
Stop.
system comes out.
You don't know anything about Nintendo, and you're fucking confusing anybody else who doesn't know anything. It did not come out with the last generation of systems. The Wii came out with the last generation of systems, and then Nintendo kind of sticks to its plan where it releases a new console like every 5 years. So at around that 5-year mark, they released the Wii U, and then a couple years later is when the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One came out. So it's like
so this is
it's
like in between.
Yeah, it's kind of in between. It's before this generation of consoles, but after last generation. It's kind of its
So
own
what you're
timeline.
saying is, you guys are excited for the next Nintendo console to come out because it's
The
going to be
ne-
better
Hey.
than the PlayStation and the Xbox.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody's pushing for Nintendo to do another console, and they're like, all right, let's do it. But now they've announced that they're going to do a new console, or maybe do a new console, but only for emerging markets. So basically China and any other countries that just allowed, consoles to be introduced into their economy are getting a new system, but they're sticking with their guns for Wii U for the United States, Japan, and etc.
Yeah.
And
I think
nobody can
instead of
figure out
naming
what
this
Nintendo's doing
episode-
right now.
I think instead of naming this episode the Archeage episode, we should name it the More You Know Nintendo Edition episode.
Connorman learned
Guys,
something today.
I'm full of
doesn't know
information.
anything about video games. The episode.
Dude, how awesome would it be if they just remanufactured Nintendo 64?
That'd be great.
Would you
I
buy
love the
it? Would
Nintendo
you buy it?
64.
I'd
Yeah.
buy it, yeah.
If Nintendo released another console and it did not have the fucking Wiimote, the nunchucks, whatever the fuck they are, I would get it. Just stop making me use that controller. Your games will be fine with a normal. There's no reason I have to play Mario with a Wiimote. Or Zelda. Or any of the other games that I would still play. Or Smash
right.
Brothers.
I've got
All
one
they'd
more
have to
question
do-
for the Wii or the Nintendo franchise. Do they have they have a Kinect, don't they? Some sort of Kinect thing
No.
that comes with the Wii, doesn't it?
No, their motion tracking and everything is all IR based. So everything is IR and gyroscopes based. So the system could detect when you're pointing the remote at the screen, just like the Wii could. And then all of the motion is gyroscope based. There's no optical detection with the Nintendo, which is another reason it's a whole generation behind PS4 and Xbox
I know
One.
what this is. You know where people read up stories and then they just kind of fill in the fucking gaps in their head, and it's called head canon. That's what Konerman has on the entire world. He doesn't know anything, so he just fucking fills in the gaps with shit he made up.
Hey,
so
man,
that's why
the
he's
information that I had.
That's why he's the Wii U's probably the handheld. They have a Kinect, right? Just make. When did it come out? Oh, right here. I don't know what he said. I'm just gonna say it this generation. He just starts saying shit. Everything he says is wrong, but it's funny.
It's a truth sometimes.
You have just a couple key problems with the Wii U. Is it's a last generation graphically. It's an awkward system to play with. It's
Controllers are shit.
It's not selling well. I think I brought up a statistic back in an older podcast, but the Wii U has been around for the same amount of time that the Dreamcast had been around, and the Wii U has sold half as much as the Dreamcast did, even back then.
And
the Dreamcast
went
was
out of
still
business.
canned. Yeah.
The Dreamcast didn't go out of business.
Sega did.
Yeah, so I don't know. I wonder if we can get through an episode without me fucking going on a rant about how much I hate Nintendo right now.
So this is where we need Worthy in the podcast to bring his counterpoints in, and then we just get really mad and aren't friends anymore. But
when is E3's next month, right?
It's in June.
June, yeah.
May, June, yeah, next month. April, June. Wait.
Are you making up
May,
months
April,
now?
June. Good job,
You
man.
making up months now?
Jesus.
Nope,
That
not making them up.
head
Just getting them. Dude, you guys pumped me full of too much information today.
Overloading.
It's fucking Wii U's not a handheld.
All right.
So,
Archeage.
Yeah. So, okay. So what we've basically been doing the last couple of days is all we've been doing is playing fucking Archeage, because people that don't know what it is, it's a MMO. It came out in Korea, but they're releasing it in the US. It's in alpha right now, and you can pretty much buy your way into the alpha. And I've been waiting on the game personally for 5 fucking years, so I jumped on that shit. And then Konerman's been waiting on it a little bit less than me, because I talked to him about it, so he bought it. And then we pretty much suckered Olsen into buying it like a guilt trip. But he enjoys it.
Well, I think one of the biggest things was you had talked about it, and I had talked to a few of the guys that I used to play World of Warcraft with, and they were really looking forward to it back when I played WoW, which was I think that was the last time I talked to them about it was 2010, 2011. And that's when it was in development and all these concepts were coming out. So I've been following it for maybe 3 years, ish time frame. And I've been literally waiting for this game. And they didn't cancel it, but they pushed back the production of it. I think it was last year, right?
Trion had a bunch of layoffs, and they pushed back the release of Archeage even more.
But the point that I'm getting at is, this game I've been waiting for this game for so fucking long that on Saturday, Nick's he says, hey man, you can get into Archeage Alpha. And I was like, oh no shit. I was like, how? He's like, oh, you buy, basically you purchase their, what's it called? Some sort of Founders Pack or something.
Yeah, it's the Founders Pack.
And there's 3 different options. You can do I forget what they're called off the top of my head.
I'll bring them first. Keep going.
Okay. But the first one is basically $150, and that gets you into alpha. And the other 2 are, I think $100 and then $50. And then those will get you into beta. They also have a bunch of other stuff that Olsen will bring up in just a second. But as soon as I saw that I was able to play the game right now in alpha, I bought it. I didn't even think twice about $150. I was like, fuck it. I've been waiting for this game for way too long, and I just, boom, bought it. So
Yeah. I've been wanting an MMO to play so fucking bad that like I probably would have taken anything. And they're like, "Oh, Archeage, you can get in the alpha, the game you've been waiting on for literally 5 fucking years." I'm like, "Get it. Credit cards exist for a reason. Fucking go."
It's free money. You don't have to pay back.
Yeah, it's just free money. That's how it works.
So you have so you can get into the alpha right now with the Archeum Founders Pack. It's $149.99. That's off of Tryon. Actually, Glyph is the name of the website, which is a Tryon Worlds website. So it gives you alpha access, which is right now, access to all upcoming beta events. You get a 4-day head start at the beginning of the actual launch. So 4 days before launch, you get to go out and get a head start on all the rest of the players. You get a couple, I won't go into the details, but a couple titles, some exclusive items, and a bunch of in-game currency. I think it's 11,250 in-game credits, which is a $70 value. And then a 90-day patron status, which is like the paid version or like the subscription version of your playstyle. Yeah. After that, you have the Gold Founders Pack, which is $100, and that gets you into all the beta tests. I think they're going to have 2 beta events, right?
Well, there's going to be like a closed beta, which is pretty much going to be open all the way from alpha until the game releases, and then they're going to have beta events, which I think are going to be more like open beta events where people can get in.
Yeah, and from what I'm hearing is these open beta events are going to be like just over the weekend. So, and nobody knows whether like your alpha characters are going to, carry over to beta, which most likely they aren't because I haven't ever seen that before.
What I've heard is not alpha to beta, but beta to release. Your players might carry over.
There's no way, dude. Because you know how long the beta will be? Like, it also depends on how the beta works. Like, some people are speculating that the alpha is going to carry on until the game releases, and the beta is just going to be beta events on weekends. So you're always going to have alpha, and then beta events will just be like on select weekends, like they do with a lot of games. But because why would they give you a 4-day head start on the live game? So,
yeah, I don't think it's going to transfer over. I haven't, plus, with fucking lands and things like that, people would be able to just have so much of a fucking advantage if it transferred from beta, just because
but
being
also
land and stuff.
I mean, look at a 4-day head start. I mean, I guess we can start getting into some of the benefits of the game. So,
let me finish the packs here.
Yeah, go ahead and finish the packs.
So the Gold Founders Pack, access to all betas and test events. 4-day pre-launch head start for the Gold Pack as well. Bunch of titles and items. 7,500 in-game credits, which is a $50 value, and then the 60-day patron status. And then you have the Silver Founders Pack, which is access to all beta tests and events, 4-day pre-launch, the Founder title, and a glider, in-game glider, 2,500 in-game credits, which is $20 value, and the 30-day, so a month free of patron status. It's going to be a free-to-play game, but you can get the subscription version and get what's called a patron status. It allows you to build a house, you can build a farm no matter what, but build a house and own actual property, or you can just sign up for the beta right now, which is an open sign up, and it's going to be a selective process.
Yeah, I've heard somebody commented on Reddit. They're like, what's the chance of me actually getting it? They're really snobby. They're like, what's the chance of me actually getting into beta when all these people are paying for it? And like the first comment was, well, you have a 0 chance if you don't apply.
Yeah. So instead of just jumping into just a bunch of random shit, let's talk a little bit about what we were excited for about the game, what really drew us into it, and
very brief descriptions of these.
Yeah, just kind of
stuff.
What you wanted to accomplish in the game and why this is an MMO that you were kind of drawn towards instead of another one. So, Tonerman, I guess let's go with you first.
The biggest draw to this game for me personally is the pirating faction. So, quick description, there's 2 factions. One is a West Island, one's East Island, and you can actually kill people and steal like their crops and just do a bunch of, quote unquote bad things, and you get infamy points. Once you reach, I think it's like 3,000 infamy points, you then become an enemy to your faction. You're no longer a part of that faction. You become a pirate. And what pirates basically can do is since they're enemies to both factions, they just fucking sail around on the seas all day and just murder and pillage like trade ships that are trying to like go and sell their goods to the other island. And that like really drew to me. I was like, that's really cool. I was also watching a lot of One Piece at the time, so that might have helped.
That always helps with the pirate aspect.
But yeah, so I mean that is the biggest draw to this game that I had before playing it. I'll say that.
Okay. Olsen, what about you?
For me, it's going to be like, well, the thing that got me into it and that actually got me to fork over the $150 is when you guys mentioned the farming aspect, because I remember reading about Archeage and how you could, basically in Archeage, you can own property. I talked about it a little bit with the patron status. If you're a subscribing member, which I probably will be, you're able to buy in-game property, and that includes like a house, and that it's not an instanced house either. Everybody in the server can rock by and see, oh, that's, Not Busy Enough's house. And they can go inside it, or actually they can't go inside it. You can lock the doors and shit like that, but they can go up to it and see it. You can customize it as your own, and everybody can see that. I know in past games it had like stuff like that has always been instanced and kind of fun for you, but not really, something you can show off. But what goes along with that house is you can get farmland, and I'm really impressed with how involved. Yeah, like when I was started, I was like, I like farming in Minecraft. There's about 6 things you can farm in Minecraft, and that's the extent of that. So maybe it'll be fun in Archeage to farm a little bit. It's super involved. There's like, you go to a seed merchant, for example, and there's 5 pages of different seeds and plants, which all have different characteristics, different requirements for growth. And then you can also, along with your farm, you can do livestock, and there's, I think 12 different types of livestock that you can raise, and you can raise them either for slaughter or for the goods that they give you, eggs, etc. And then when you get all these goods, you can become a trader.
Before you finish this, but with livestock, you can actually breed them. So you can breed mounts, you can breed more cows, you can breed, anything. Like it's pretty insane the amount of possibilities that this game allows just in the farming system alone.
Yeah. Like with all that farming, with all that resource gathering, it's not just, gathering that resource and running down to the nearest vendor and selling everything off. You actually can add a little strategy to it and turn some of your goods into, certified goods and more valuable goods, and actually walk them and throw all your stuff on a donkey, like it's a legitimate donkey that you throw everything on, and take it to, into the market where it's going to get more money. And it's actually a really involved way of farming. And not only that, it's not a side thing too. You get experience from farming. I'm level 18 right now, in
Holy
the day
shit,
and a half.
are?
Yeah, in the day and a half that I've been playing, and I could have got there just by farming. There's almost some spots where it's more valuable to just farm a few things to finish off the level instead of trying to go grind something out. That's part of what brought it to me, and what has kept me here is the fact that the game is so damn relaxing for me. I don't know. I think with WildStar, it's almost like sensory overload. It's there's shit going on over here, explosions and super sarcastic dialogue, what have you, distracting you constantly. And this game, it doesn't try and be something it's not. It's an MMO with the traditional MMO roots, with different perks and stuff like that. But then it adds to it with its atmosphere. The trial system is just hilarious to watch. I can sit there and listen to the trials of people. I don't know if Connorman, if you want to go more into that.
Yeah, we'll get into it. You were supposed to pick one aspect. I know it's a good game.
Well, I'm just saying why I'm staying. It's
Okay.
really relaxing for me. It's a atmospheric experience. The music isn't super epic where it stresses me out. It's
Korean
just
voices
nice.
have something to do with it too.
Yeah, because it's an alpha, there are still some Korean things which are kind of annoying. I can't listen to any of the story cutscenes because they're not only are they in Korean narrated, but they're Korean subtitles. So you have no chance of understanding it.
Unless you speak or read Korean, you have no idea what's happening in the game, really.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to beta and being able to understand the story, but
yeah,
I'll
beta
stay with
they
this
should
game
be
for a while.
swapping it to English. So.
Yeah.
Houston,
But
what you got?
All right. So this is my scenario of what I want to live out in every single MMO. I want to be fucking this like old guy, like make it like an old guy character, fucking just wander up into the mountains and fucking mine my days away, just collecting ore. And I want to fucking just like build a little shack, like way deep, fucking like in some cave or something, or like back in the woods, like out of the fucking way of everything, where people aren't gonna find me. And then I want to just have a forge in there and fucking go blacksmithing all day, every day. And eventually I want to be like the greatest blacksmith on the server. And I'll wander down from my mountain with like the greatest swords in the game and shit. And just fucking sell them in town. And then I'll wander back out to my mountain. And people are like, oh man, if you want a good sword, you gotta get one of this guy's fucking swords. They're like, how do I find him? Well, just every once in a while he comes down from the mountain.
It's like this. It reminds me of like Eve, where you just become like such a like vital fucking character that they write you into the lore. They name like a sword after your character's name.
Yeah,
Side
That'd be
note,
funny.
do you know what CCP did for the Eve universe recently? I didn't know this till a few days ago.
I read about it.
They actually built real world monuments with in-game characters' names on them, like human characters, as like tributes for like either special battles that they were in. Was it like a battle that they were in, or?
I read about the kids
Characters-
that put stickers on one of the monuments, and
Yeah.
they got permabanned from the game. It was like 3 different people got permabanned, and one other guy got like a temporary ban
Yeah, these
for doing real world shit. I was like, what the fuck?
They went to the statue and scribbled out a competing. It's a guild, but they call it in the game corporation. Competing corporations, like guild members.
Man.
Yeah, they scribbled out their names, and they figured out from who got scribbled out and arguments that they've had, and I think a couple of Reddit threads, who did it, and they permabanned them from the game, IP banned, so they can't play ever again.
until they learn how to proxy. And then
I think-
until they learn how to proxy. But
I think one of the most promising things with this game is it has a lot of very similar Eve characteristics, and that's the biggest reason that I never got into Eve was I got into the game too late. Like, if you try to get into Eve right now, it would take you so long to catch up to like what they consider endgame, and there's no possible way that you could actually like catch up to the guys that are like top echelon right now, like the huge ass corporations that have like these ginormous ships that are just like pretty much unbeatable. They're literally written into the game. These character names are in the game, and that's the reason why I could never get into Eve, was because I started too late. I heard about the game too late, and I think with Archeage or Archeage, I still don't know how to pronounce it, but it just seems like it's going to have the same type of potential
Community.
where because literally when you drop this is another thing of the game. Are you done with your stuff, Houston?
Well, I mean, when I play these games, I like the economy aspects. Like, all the things about the economy is really what's fucking got me excited. Like, all the things from just, like, non-instanced areas, competing for resources and PvP and stuff like that. Crafting gives you the highest gear in the game, not just, like, something at the end game. Like it
Right,
gives
there's
you
not.
the
It's not
best.
like rating for
Yeah.
gear. You
Yeah.
have to get like somebody who is like the master crafter, which isn't fucking easy to do. You
Yeah, it's
can't just
not
grind
easy.
that shit out like WoW, where like you spend however many thousand gold to buy
Yeah, it's fucking
all the mats
tough.
that you need to power level it.
All
It's-
you need to do is go to this town, and at every third midnight, an old man comes down from the hill and sells you swords.
Yeah, so like, but just like that, the trade routes and stuff like that, where you actually have to like transport goods and things like that, which leads to piracy, and it's
Yeah.
just everything about the economy is like crafting, and the economy is really what draws me to it, because I don't really care about the combat, which the combat's fun in the game, but I've seen it before, so combat in games, it doesn't change very much. I've seen it a fucking dozen times. I don't get too excited about that, but there aren't any other games aside from maybe Eve, and I don't play that because, one, I don't like sci-fi MMOs, and two, the same reason as Conan, where I would come in too late. So there are no other games where it's economy based and there's crafting based and like there's a real focus on it.
It's
aside from
the
Eve
economy
and
is
Archeage.
completely player driven. And if you look at it, one of the professions is commerce, which is basically like your specialization on fucking trading and making money, pretty much. But what I was getting into before was, like, when you're talking about these huge corporations in Eve, you're gonna have the same thing in Archeage. Like, because once you
there's
go,
already huge guilds.
well, that's
like
the thing.
pirates
Once
and
you
stuff
go
like that.
to the North Continent, from my understanding, once you go to the North Continent, you basically can denounce your faction from the East or the West Island, and guilds are going to merge and create new factions. So you're literally going to have a completely player-created faction that you can, switch between. Like, hey, you know what? Fuck these guys. They totally, ruined my shit and they're treating me like shit, whatever. I'm going to go over to these guys and tell them all the shit that these guys have been doing so that they can win the next big, like, war that they have. And they, like, constantly fight for territory on this new island. Like, it's all completely player-driven, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the economy is why I'm excited, and that's pretty much it. But it's big, so I like it.
Just the stuff you can do in it too. The fact that I was walking across the desert today and I saw a ship shooting harpoons into the ground, pulling itself across the sand, and then it's perfectly normal for you to do that. Perfectly normal for you to shoot the harpoon at the big airship flying by to drag yourself across, and you can do it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's built into the game's code that if you want to do that, by all means, I'm gonna be the desert pirate. I can do that.
Slow as fuck, just get dragged.
Shit.
But
What did you see the
infamous.
other day, Houston?
Oh, I was just fucking running around. Like I was, I think I was level 12 or 13 at the time. So I was just running around doing quest. I came over the top of this hill, and like coming over the hill at the same time on the opposite side was a tractor that someone shot like a harpoon in with a boat, and it was dragging the fucking boat like up the mountain and across it. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? I was just not expecting that at all. I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
It's funny that we've all seen that now, and it's becoming a common thing, and to bring fucking ships onto the land just because you can.
Just because you can. Like, I don't know if they're gonna fix it later, but it's fucking hilarious right now.
I think they should keep. I mean, it's. I can see it getting old eventually, but it's still funny to see that shit happen.
The only thing I could imagine is at some point if you can drag like the warships on land and use them to siege a fucking castle for some reason, then there might be a problem. But right now it's just fucking harmless and it's hilarious.
But imagine that, like, imagine like a guild's castle, and
I don't want to.
your other guild is like, dude, we don't have enough siege weapons. Bring in the ships, and they fucking just pull all the ships up, and just imagine being that other guild's captain and be like, oh my god.
How do I deal with this shit?
Dear God.
Oh my god.
Oh, Poseidon.
He takes his glasses off.
All right, so let's talk about one of the most refreshing things about this game that I wasn't expecting when I jumped into the game.
Boob
I knew
jiggle?
that there was boob jiggle too. But besides that, I knew that there was a trial system. It's a political system. It's a trial system. So basically, like I was saying, getting infamy points. You know, if you kill somebody or if you steal somebody's crops that they planted, it leaves behind. So if you kill somebody, it leaves behind like bloodstains, and a player can walk up and right-click it and report somebody for killing another player. When that player dies, if they have any reports, then they go immediately to the the fucking courthouse, and I think it's 5 jury members sit on their trial, and basically, you know, they look at all of the reports. It's kind of like the tribunal system in League. They look at all the reports, what they were reported for. And then the defendant and the jury is there and they can talk to each other, and then the jury will decide whether or not to punish them and for how long. One of the nice things about this is a global chat. So whenever somebody goes to trial, it's a trial chat. You can see that and you can leave it on. So it's like the judge will be like, begin the case of Rusty Nuts or whatever. And like the best ones are the ones where the guys like start role playing. Like this one dude, I had to write it down because it's funny. He's like, I was merely redistributing goods to the poor and needy. It's like, too long have the world's 1% had a hold on this world's economy. And then like immediately chat just blows up. Innocent, innocent, innocent. Like,
It's
I don't know,
funny
it's just,
too, like running across those people, like begin the trial of whoever, and immediately the defendant's like, "Fuck you! You'll never take me alive, you sons of bitches!" Like all over in
Just talking
like
so
trial
much shit.
chat, and they're like, "Guilty!" Everyone's like, "Guilty!" It's just fucking hilarious.
now, if you do get sentenced, I think the longest sentence that I have seen was 500 and something minutes. So that's like fucking, and you have to do this time in game. You have to sit in jail in game for that amount of time.
Yeah, you can't just
So,
log out.
The funniest ones are
Well,
like,
you can break out.
Yeah,
you
break
can. Well, I'll get to that in a second. You get a debuff for that amount of time that you can't use any skills. I'm not sure if it's you just can't use any skills or you can't use any skills on mobs or players. But you get a debuff for however long they sentence you for. So even if you break out, you can't use your skills for that long. And then
It's a legit punishment.
it's a legit punishment. Now, the only problem that I have with this system right now is literally you can tell that people who got PK'd or got their crops stolen are the ones that are going and signing up for jury duty. Like nobody else is signing up because literally in every fucking case that I've seen a few that were innocent, but pretty much every other one, these kids are just like, oh, you PK'd once, maximum sentence. It's just like, dude, stop being such a little fucking shit and like read the fucking trial. Like some of this shit isn't that big of a deal. Like quit being such a fucking brat and read this shit. But that's like the only negative thing that I've seen is pretty much anybody who goes to trial is going to get punished.
I think it's exciting. Like we planted those. The problem is like you can only, if you want to protect something you plant, you can either plant it on public lands, or public farms, or you can go get a piece of land. And where we're at right now, there's not a lot of free land, so we have to hide our crops like behind rocks and shit like that. And me and Connor, before we logged off last night, planted a bunch of stuff, a couple ducks we were raising, all behind this like bush.
In the bushes, in a tree. It's like you couldn't find it.
This dude had to have stumbled on it, but like I logged in this morning and I logged out right next to it, and there's all these like red footprints all around my stuff. And I'm like, son of a bitch! And you can click on the footprints and report them. And it was so exciting. Like, just role-playing a little bit. I was like, this bastard stole my crops. I'm trying to feed my family. I wrote him the first one. And then the rest were like, stolen crops. But I reported him on every one of his footprints. And
Now, honestly,
I want to
man,
be a part of that jury, though.
yeah, I do too, but I want to, like, I waste a lot of gold on all those seeds and shit, but I'm not even mad that guy stole them. Like,
No, it's still funny.
We placed them in a unprotected zone, like, for me at least, I don't have a problem with him stealing that shit. That was a risk that I took. I thought that I hid them well enough, but I guess not.
If I would have run up on that, I would have taken him too. So
I still would have reported him, but if I was on the jury and I saw that, like, it's called uprooting when you uproot someone else's crops in unprotected lands, because it's unprotected land. It's not their fucking farm. So if I was on a jury for that, I would really take a look at that and see like what the person actually did, because I really don't think uprooting's that big of a fucking deal. But these, like, I'm telling you, man, these little fucking brats will freak out when you steal their shit. And there's like maximum punishment. And the really good trials also were the ones where the kid who fucking reported the guy is still on the game and he sees it. And like as soon as it says begin the trial of fucking whatever, and he's just like guilty, like just spams chat. Like, this is pretty funny.
So you can sign up for jury duty? Is that what you can do?
I think there's a whole system to it where you have to like register to vote or some shit. You have to go to the main city and do it.
I've never once been like, I want to be a part of government in a game, except for this one.
But yeah, so that's
kind of city council meeting. Yeah,
city council.
But yeah, like sometimes you'll see, like me and Houston saw the other day, some guy who went to trial, and he's like an infamous PKer. And somebody's like, Jesus Christ. And everybody's like, what? This guy has 47 assaults and 53 murders. Like, Jesus Christ.
And he's like, I didn't do it. I'm innocent. It was self-defense. Like, it just starts saying all this shit.
No, it was like 5 different things. Like, I'm innocent. It's homicide. It was self-defense. I tripped. Like, right
like,
after the other. Yeah.
Okay. I've got 2 more things to talk about. Do we have time for that?
Yep.
Yeah, man, it's a podcast. We can just talk until we don't want to anymore.
Okay, so, well, maybe 3 things. First thing is going to be your mounts and your pets. So, Archeage uses a system of a pet system to where everybody can have pets, but it's you can only have 1 pet out at a time, and a mount is considered a pet. So, all of your pets can be leveled. So, like my fucking horse Chestnut. He's a badass, first of all. But like, I kind of fell in love with
Mega
him.
Horse.
It's not as badass as Mega Horse, but still, Chestnut's got a special place in my heart. Kind of like Stingrays for Steve Irwin, but that's.
Damn.
Anyway.
Too soon.
No.
It's been years.
So, your pets, you can level up and they can fight for you. So even like your horse mount that you just fucking ride around, when you dismount it, he kind of just chills there. He gets in your fucking way, which is annoying, but he's still your pal, and you can still level him up and he can still fight with you. There's also like, I have a wolf pet, which is a combat only pet, so I can't ride him around. And then I have like some little like fucking foxing that looks like the Nine Tails from Naruto. But it's a cool system. I know Olsen wants to talk about his donkey.
The fucking donkey's awesome. Samwise, he's so loyal, so trusty, and like
so dependable and sturdy, right?
He is. He's fucking sturdy, and like I honestly, even though he's my slowest mount, I ride him more than anything else because I just fucking love how his short little legs like move super fast, and he's just fucking hilarious to watch with his stupid floppy ears. Samwise is such a great donkey.
One of the other best things of the game, not related to mounts, is you can walk while you dance.
Oh, yeah. I honestly thought it was a glitch at first.
That does take top 10.
No, there was a guy in my game too running around with a fucking like megaphone on his back, playing like hip hop music that he composed, and it was like he had like a troupe of just regular players walk dancing behind him as he's walk dancing just around the desert. And it was...
He's like that fucking... the guy who played the flute or whatever and Rats would follow.
Yeah. The Pied Piper.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I followed him for a good 5 minutes just dancing.
I think that the whole donkey love, because I have love for Poncho too. But I think a lot of that was from the quest line that me and Olsen had to do to get that fucking donkey. And I'm pretty sure we did it like one of the most difficult ways you could have. Because what we should have done is we should have set our recalls to those places. Yeah. But basically we had to spend 2.5 hours fucking walking all over the goddamn place to get these donkeys. Basically, you use trade packs. Trade packs are like
big rucksacks.
Big rucksacks, but they're goods. And the whole point of a trade pack is you throw it on your back and you move it from one place to another place. It creates commerce in the game, and it helps the economy. And you walk them from one place to another, and when you get to the destination, you can sell them for gold there, and you make money off of them basically. And donkeys are the only mounts that they're the fastest mounts to carry your trade goods on. So we had to do this whole long quest line, and I remember we went to I forget what the place is called, but we were waiting for an airship, and literally just dancing there naked. And then we almost died 3 different fucking times because we kept getting knocked off the platform. Go ahead.
No, it's in this massive tree, and this airship comes to pick you up. And me and Connorman are at the edge of the dock, very edge. Connorman plays as a girl, and I'm as a guy, and he's making his character grind up on me and shit. But as we're doing this,
Totally straight.
Totally
Dude,
straight.
hey,
no homo. But
look,
as we're
that
doing this,
champion. Let me fucking validate myself here. That champion was made as my main champion was already level 11 before Houston even got into the game. And Houston was like, "Hey, yeah, I'm ready to play." I was like, "Oh, what are you gonna play as?" He's like, "This race," and I was like, "I'm the other fucking race." So I guess I'll make a new character. So I just made this total bimbo babe chick and named her Thunder Thighs. And I was like, "This is gonna be funny, right, guys?" And then by level 3, I was just fucking sold on this class because it was a different class. Normally I play mages and shit, but I made a warrior class with Thunder Thighs, and I just fell in love with it. And I was like, this is my new character. So now I have to live with playing this total fucking babe the rest of the time that I'm playing in alpha.
What a terrible fate.
What a terrible fate. That ass is real.
All right, so what's the third thing you're psyched about?
I made a list here.
Damn.
Housing and farming. If we wanted to go...
I already went over that.
Okay. Well, how about fishing then? We haven't done fishing yet. But
I haven't got a fishing pole yet.
If you talk to these two about how ADD I am about things, it's
surprised
so
at how
uncommon.
interested you were in fishing.
When I was waiting for the game to download, some guy was streaming. His name's Bike Man. He was streaming himself fishing because he's the highest fishing skill on the fucking server. Because there's only one alpha server right now. And I literally sat there and watched him fucking MMO in-game fish for 45 minutes. Because it was such a deep and involved system. And there's so many different, literally, it's so fucking dynamic and, what's the word I'm looking for? It involves you to actually catch a fish. It's not just wait for the bob to bob and click. It's no, when you catch a fish on your hook, if he goes to the left, you have to pull him to the right. And this dude literally spent 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes sometimes catching these big fish. And the whole time he had to guide them and then reel them in real fast. It's pretty cool.
It'd be of note to explain too that this Archeage is not like World of Warcraft where, you have maybe a boat or something like that just off the shore and that's the extent of the sea and you
can just fish anywhere.
Yeah, it's you have an entire ocean that's explorable. And you have trade routes going across with ships. That's where your piracy, your illegitimate pirate ship, you can be like that. You can be a transport ship. You can be a fishing ship and go out into the ocean and actually fish.
So that kind of brings me... Do you have another point?
Nope.
Okay. That brings me to the last thing I want to talk about, and that is boats. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the different types of boats, but it ranges all the way from the shitty canoe that we have right now to
a rowboat,
a legitimate fucking pirate, fucking Blackbeard Caribbean fucking pirate ship.
You said,
and
I just want to say, during that sentence, you said fuck 5 times.
I got really excited.
You're like, fucking row, fucking boat, canoe, fucking Blackbeard, fucking ship.
Okay, so basically, what it's going to come down to is when everybody gets to endgame and everything, people, like these big factions, all these guilds that are combined, are basically gonna have to create some sort of like Coast Guard or some shit to protect all of their fishing, or all their fishing vessels for one, and all of their trade transport goods vessels for two. And they're literally gonna have to escort all of these fuckers to wherever they're trying to go, and they're most likely gonna like figure out a certain time during the day. Okay, it's the 2:00 escort time or whatever, and everybody who has all your trade goods, just come on down to this port or whatever, and everybody loads up, and they'll just fucking cross the sea with an escort.
What's funny is that's gonna, because that's advertised, that's gonna then attract pirates,
right?
And it's gonna cause
just
attacks.
Massive battles, like literally. This isn't like fucking current day like naval warfare. This is like fucking straight up pirates. Like, you board somebody's vessel and fuck them up. Like, you don't just like fire from way far away. Like, yeah, these ships have cannons and stuff, but the majority of the piracy that I've seen is all, you know, since the pirate ship is the fastest ship, they will just eventually overtake whatever they're going to pirate, and they'll all just fucking swarm the ship and just take over. So like, it forces people to work as a group and to basically buy protection. I can see pirates also making deals with certain factions, like, we won't pirate your guys' vessels if you guys pay us this much, you know, every week or some shit.
Fucking extortion, protection.
That's like another. That's another thing that I like about the game is fucking mercenary guilds, where like all they do is
hired hands and shit.
Okay, so that brings in another thing, is the whole northern continent is going to be all these different factions vying for control of the northern continent, or the northern island. So basically, like, I can definitely see pirate guilds like, hey, looks like you guys are in a war against this huge other clan. You know, if you throw us a fucking little piece of land over here, or if you throw us a bunch of farming stuff, you know, we can fight with you guys for this war. And that is what is really cool to me.
What's cool about the pirate ships too, and like the ship battles and everything, it's not going to be like you get your pirate ship and it's, if you have the best pirate ship as one person, that doesn't mean shit. You need an actual crew,
right,
to board and take and kill all these other people on these other vessels. So it's going to have to be a coordinated effort, but I don't see that being a problem at all. Like, put out in general chat, hey, who wants to go pirate some shit with me? 400 people are going to be like, yeah, me. And
one of the things that I was watching a lot of streams, and these like organized pirate guilds, it's like one person's job to just watch the radar and just say, hey, there's, you know, a fucking trade vessel northwest, go. They're like, how far away? They're like, probably 2 minutes, maybe 3 max. And like, they just go. And like, their whole fucking fleet of ships just like converges on one poor son of a bitch in his pirate ship, or in his fishing ship, just trying to, you know, just make his living out there catching fish and shit. So
yeah. So I think that's starting to dwindle it down. Let's close this up.
Let's close it. I want to play.
Yeah. As soon as I was saying that, fucking Olsen's like, let's close this, I want to play. So, yeah, I just want to, for the game, like, it's, from what I can tell, it's one of those games, you know, every MMO has just fucking features and features and features listed, but usually they're like half-assed or they're just thrown in. There isn't one feature that I've seen in this game that's just fucking, it feels half-assed. Like, they're all fleshed out. Like, if you want to be a crafter, you go be a fucking crafter. If all you want to do is fish, you know, there's a fucking good experience with fishing. If you want to be a pirate, you can do that. Like, if you just want to play it like a normal MMO, the combat's there, you know, there's no half-assed part of the game.
The game's in alpha, and it's crashed once for me. That's it. And the economy's not broken. There may be one or a few features that need revision, but it's a solid game at
now.
Alpha
One of the
right
things
now
that you're talking about now is one of the things that helps that is it's already been released in Korea.
Yeah, it's
and
already
basically,
a Korean MMO.
One last quick thing is basically they've kind of already, you know, quality assured this game in Korea. So they've released a few patches already also. And basically what they've done is they've taken out the majority of the patches that gave them, you know, bad response from the community in Korea. They took a lot of those out, and they're making a new game based around, you know, just for NA, but NA and EU. but they're using that as kind of like that was like their real beta was Korea. That's not what they were intending, but that's what happened. So that's why and that's another thing is, I talk about pretty games all the time. This game is pretty and smooth, and that's what I was like really surprised and shocked at.
Yeah, it uses CryEngine.
CryEngine 3, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess let's close this up so we can go play it now.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to throw a little spoiler out there. We may actually do a podcast for this game, but we're not sure yet, so no promises.
Yeah. We're thinking about it. It's on the table.
Some logistics things that we need to get over a lot. We're separated by, 4,000 miles or whatever it is, and latency issues of getting Let's Plays together and stuff like that will be difficult, but we're going to try and get some kind of, if not bi-weekly, something out.
Yeah, we're experimenting with a lot of things. We're talking about maybe making a podcast on Archeage if we get really into it. Mm-hmm. We're talking about trying to do Let's Plays, which, like Olsen just said, is hard to do because we don't live near each other. So, yeah. But anyway, you can go to our website, Mediocre Gamecast, .podbean.com. You can email us. I still don't think we've gotten any emails yet at mediocregamecast@gmail.com. You can follow us on YouTube. Olsen's all caught up on the episodes now, right?
Yep.
On our YouTube page, Mediocre Gamecast on there. You can follow me. I sometimes make videos. It's just pain in the ass to upload them, but I'm TGhost132 on YouTube. And Conerman's on there. He's like, I'm going to start a League series. He made one video and quit.
Well, I might be doing something with Archeage. I don't know. Like I said, logistics.
Yeah,
Taghost and Conerman are both linked off of Mediocre Gamecast's YouTube page, so you guys can find them on there.
Yeah. So visit our website, email us, shoot us emails, and subscribe to us. Yeah. And if you're looking for a fucking MMO to play, check out Archeage, because we're all fucking liking it. And we're all have pretty different views as far as games go.
Even if you can't afford the $150, drop the $50 so that you'll at least get into beta. And you'll at least get that 4-day.
You don't even need to drop the $50. Just sign up. It's free sign up for the beta right now. So
yeah, but $50 is guaranteed.
Guaranteed beta, yes.
Yeah. At least look at it.
Look into it.
All right. I'm Nick Houston, TGhost132. We'll talk to you guys next time.